Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's that time again. Welcome to another exciting Bald Explorer live from the back room in a house in Worthing, down by the Sussex south coast and by the lovely chalky South Downs. Here in a wonderful place that's all getting ready for the summer, ready for the hordes of tourists that are going to come to Worthing and parade themselves, semi-clad, ladies and gentlemen, semi-clad, denuded of clothes, all across the seafront on our pebbly, seaweed-infested beach. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there they will be in their little beach huts with their deck chairs and their ice creams and their buckets and spades. They will be there, ladies and gentlemen, this year when the sun is blazing down. Blazing! It will really be blazing down, and people will turn into lobsters because they haven't put enough sun cream all over them, and then they'll be moaning about how hot it is and how much the weather is terrible, and we've only just got out of spring. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald Explorer on March the 20th, the spring solstice, the March solstice, ladies and gentlemen, the time of rebirth, when things will spring into life and we can watch out for some new and exciting stuff. Will you be getting anything new and exciting from the one-eyed Vobing Kenobi? That's the question that you're all asking, isn't it? Yeah, probably not is the answer. It'll just be more of the same useless, boring load of old nonsense that I cough up every day. However, in today's show, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking chocolate. We're talking book recommendations. Yes, indeed. And we're talking bits of equipment. That's all up in today's show. Plus, of course, we've got some video. Yes, the old Vobing Reporters have been out yet again. And I've been out filming down near Lewes in East Sussex. But south of that, to the home of Virginia Woolf. She of the writing and the suicide fame. So if you want to know where to ditch yourself into the water, if you think that you want to get rid of this mortal coil, you've had enough. Hanging is no good for you. No, you want to drown yourself to death. All you need to do is fill yourself up with pockets full of pebbles and throw yourself into the ooze. Oh, it's all good fun, isn't it? But anyway, so we're not going to be depressed. Just checking that my nose isn't bleeding there. Little spot of something. Welcome to another manic Vobing one-eyed Kenobi show. Let's make sure there are actually people out there, which would be good. Got the emojis flying past. So, hello to Steve, hello to Malcolm, hello to Jürgen, hello to Andy and Maggie and Elaine and Jane and all the lovely people, to Philip who's out there, to Julia, to Frank, to everybody, and Kevin Hall. And it's lovely to see you. They just cut to the chocolate, says Malcolm, and I don't blame you. I have messed up day and felt a bit peeved off until I listened to the Naked Englishman. Yeah, then today, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a patron of the Vobes, in other words, if you're one of those lovely people that put your hand into your pocket and buy me a cup of coffee once a month and say, hey, Richard, you're doing such a great job with your videos, I will give you at the price of a cup of coffee a month, cup of coffee a month. If you're one of those people, you get in exchange my daily audio journal. That's behind the scenes of the Vobing one-eyed Kenobi, where you find out the truth. You find out, is this mad cat character that we see in front of our screens every evening, every weekday evening at 8 o'clock GMT, is he such a mad bloke all day long, apart from when we watch him doing his walks, when he's a little bit more serious, going, hello, I'm Richard Vobes, I'm on a walk. Is he like that in real life? And of course Kevin has noticed that, of course, it may be not quite as true, because today the world was conspiring, ladies and gentlemen, conspiring against me. Things were just getting in the way and causing me chaos and mayhem, and we may get onto a little bit of that in the show, but there we are. So if you're not one of those patrons, I will tell you a bit later on, actually. I will tell you a little bit later on how you can become a patron of the Vobes and what the advantages of that is. And I can tell you that being a patron of the Vobes is a very worthwhile cause because, of course, it helps keep the shows going, which is good. Let's see what else you're talking about before we get the show going. We've got Paul Watts saying hello. Richard. Hello, Richard. Sujit, he's there. Nice to see you. Lee Freeston, of course. Russell with his big thumbs up. Gary Bain. Gary, I want to talk to you. Am I able to hire Shoreham Fort for the Bald Explorer Summer Barbecue? That's what I want to do. We want to charge everybody a couple of quid to come in or bring their own sausages and burgers and have a barbecue. I don't know when, sometime in July, sometime when it's useful, sometime when it's good with you. But Gary Baines, that's what we would like to do. I say we. I'm making the executive decision here, but that's what we're going to. That's what we're going to do. We're all going to march down. We want to get a next meet-up all organised. We're already meeting on the 28th of April for a sort of bit of a nosh and a walk round Bramber. But, Gary Baines, we want to come to Shoreham Fort. We want to buy some of your lovely fudge that you very kindly, we ate on the show the other night, Julia and I. And we want to come en masse to some event where we can have a barbecue. So, let me know. He says, I hope it's not cold in your back room. LOL. Why do you think I'm wearing a jacket tonight? Why do you think? Dan Thompson says, I've seen Vobes behind. Oh, yes. You've seen my behind. If you're not careful, you're going to get a moonie at this rate. Happy spring, y'all. Y'all. Happy spring, y'all. Hey there. Are you Richard Vobes? When I went to America, ladies and gentlemen, we went down to, not San Antonio, Texas, because, of course, that's where they're setting off bombs at the moment. But, no, we went down to Virginia. West Virginia, Mount Mama, yeah, no less. We went down when we went there on the Vobe show, and the lovely audience paid for us to go down there, and we went down to was it in Virginia or the South Carolina? I think it was. We got into South Carolina, and somebody said we stopped. I was with my mate Paul Stoneman, who now lives in Portugal, sunning it up, ladies and gentlemen, sunning it up. By the way, is the lens clean? I had complaints that the lens was all grubby yesterday. I did mop it up. Anyway, so we drove down to South Carolina, and we stopped, and there was this giant sandal. By a shoe shop. And so I said to him, here, Paul, take a picture of me by this giant sandal. I mean, it was man-sized, this sandal. Not man-sized as in footman size, but I mean tall man size. So I decided that would be great to have a little picture. So I leant against that, like this. Hello, look at me, all my hair centre parting, very wide. And, of course, he took a picture, and this bloke came running out from the shop, and he said, "Oi, get away from my shop." And I said, I'm ever so sorry. And he said, "Are you English? Are you from England? Oh, Mary Bell, come out here and meet these English people." And it was amazing. So, happy spring, y'all. All good fun. July barbecue sounds great. John Berger says, get your ass back over here to the States, matey. No, that's easier said than done, but John Berger, I've got something to say to you. I have a little bit, not much, but a little bit of inheritance coming in. My poor old daddy, who's in the back room on the shelf in a box, his ashes anyway, now well and truly snuffed. There should be some money coming in, and my plan is to come back over to the States. So I do want to come up and see you. There's good old Robert Reed. There's Philip Scarborough down in Mississippi. There's all the old team. There's Jeff Mahoney, of course. There's all the old team that we used to see before. And lovely Charles Stell, bless him, when we met him, and his dear old lovely wife Brandy, who has since passed, probably doing the tango with my dad as we speak, probably doing that. So it'd be lovely to get over there. So I do intend to get my arse, or my ass, as you Americans like to say, to get back over there, which would be great. All clean tonight, please. That's as rude as it goes, Frank. That's as rude as it goes. So, hello everyone, says Anne. Hello, Chrissy has joined. Jürgen says nice and clean. Yes, well, I'm tidy, tidy. So there we go. So that's all of that. Wait to hear what Gary Baines says about the July barbecue. I may have missed a thing, but anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the show. Thank you very much for joining me. It's very kind of you. What am I going to do first? Yes, so spring solstice. Here we are. What does that mean? I know you're all interested to know what that means. Well, it's equinoxes and solstices are on opposite sides of the equator, apparently. And what it really means, what happens is the Earth's axis, I'm just reading from a website here because I haven't a bloody clue. The Earth's axis is always tilted at an angle about 23 degrees, well, 23.4 degrees in actual fact, in relation to the ecliptic plane. The imaginary plane, anyway, what it means is it's the time when the sun passes and is pointing directly at the equator, meaning that the days and the nights are of equal length, hence the equinox. So we then move into, on Sunday in England, we move into British summertime, and it is now officially spring. We get into British summertime, and yet it's only spring. So I don't know how that works. How does that work? That's a bit weird, isn't it? Because, anyway, so the clops, the clippity clops, they all spring forward. Which means it's going to be darker in the mornings, which is a right pain because I like to get up early and nip out to somewhere, do a bit of filming before the world and his brother have actually got out of bed. That's what I like to do. All the emojis, look at the emojis. If you're watching on YouTube, I do apologise. You don't get the emojis, and I am sorry about that. But they are whizzing across the bottom of the screen, so that's very nice. Chrissy Richardson says, good evening, Richard and everyone. Good evening to you. Steve Pilford, equinox, equal day and night in March and September. Yes, I forgot about the September one. The one in September is, well, again, it's back to the same thing, isn't it? The trouble with the one in September is the one we all hate because it means that the nights are drawing in, the cold is coming, and winter is on its way. But at least now, ladies and gentlemen, we can go, yes, it's going to get warm. We had a bit of sun. I was outside in the sun today. I was outside south of Lewes in East Sussex, which is good. Jane Ainsley has joined, which is rather good. Jake has just joined and saying, yay, summer. So officially, the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi has said, let the spring begin. So that's very nice. Thanks for all those lovely emojis. They're all flying past, which is just what we want. Now, oh yes, I'm wearing my jacket tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not just because I'm a bit chilly in the back room here in the old Vobes Towers. Used to be the Pink House. It's no longer Pink House. It's actually Terracotta. So I should call it the Terracotta Cottage or something, shouldn't I? Here, the Vobes in the Terracotta Cottage. We used to do it from a beach hut, but unfortunately the beach hut blew away in 1987. But there we are. So I'm wearing the jacket because I was thinking earlier, I've got this talk to do at the Windmills, the Sussex Windmills AGM, Annual General Meeting, where I'm sure all the trustees of the local windmill societies will be going, the minutes of the last meeting. Yes, certainly, the minutes of the last meeting. Here they are. Tick, 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 tick. That's very good, yes. Do we have the hours from the last meeting? Yes, but we've only got a few bongs. Could we have a few bongs? Yes, of course we can have bongs. Bong, bong. Yes, very good. So, anyway, I've got this talk I'm doing, so I thought I'd wear a nice jacket to make myself look, splendid and charming and it's semi-intelligent. Because they're all expecting some boffin. I know what they're expecting. They're expecting somebody to talk elucidly and eruditely on all sorts of historical subjects. And of course, I'm not really, I'll let you into a tiny little secret here. It's not really much of a secret, but actually, I'm not really a historian, you see. It's all a myth. It's all a lie. I'm just a bald bloke with one eye. However, I do make videos and documentaries, so I'm going to be talking about the perils, ladies and gentlemen, the perils of making a documentary about historical things and heritage and the problems that arise. Anyway, it'll keep them amused. I'll crack a few jokes, but I have yet to write it. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. But I thought, what do you think? Do you like this jacket? This is a it's a nice jacket. It needs a press and stuff, but I think it's quite nice. Got to look very smart, you know. Got to look smart for everybody. So that's one of the things. So that was that. So where have I been today? Let me tell you where I have been, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you as soon as I can find the video. I've been to Piddinghoe. Not Westward Ho, but Piddinghoe. It's such a lovely name, isn't it? Such a lovely name. Do you know where Piddinghoe is? Well, it's just north of Newhaven. Yes, just up the road. And it's supposedly famous for the old smugglers, you know, the smugglers there that say, you know, keep your eyes to the wall, me heart is there. Don't look. You can't do that for very long. Actually, talking of doing funny voices and things, I was, I'll get onto this, but I saw Chris Monk earlier today, and he said, I like the Dalek impression you did. He said he liked that. He said, you know, he was making something and he wanted a Dalek and they had to use special electronic apparatus. And of course, I just did this Dalek in the show. I'll see if I can do another Dalek for you. It does knacker your voice up a bit, and I've got the show to do, but we'll give it a go. I am a Dalek. You are a Dalek. Yes, you will obey. I must obey. Kill the Doctor. Kill the Doctor. Oh no, the Doctor is coming! He will kill us! He has a sonic screwdriver! Has he got a screwdriver? Yes! I do not want my screws undone! Neither do I! You must stop! You must stop him from... Sorry about that. Just a moment there of complete and utter hilarity, and I hope you've appreciated it. Now I've got a splitting headache, and it's time to have a look at Piddinghoe, ladies and gentlemen. What a pity. Piddinghoe, this is where I went. Let's have a little look at some of this. So here we go, through the doors, ladies and gentlemen, to the Piddinghoe Church. And I can't remember the name of the church. I've got it written down somewhere, but it's a lovely church with a round bell tower made of flint. And I had a quick look at that, walk up there to the porch. But I didn't actually... Oh, look, there he is. There is the old duffer. Walking round at the back, having a little gander. It's a very nice church, isn't it? I love the way that the roof sweeps right down low. Notice how low that goes. It goes right down, ladies and gentlemen. Right down. Those tiny little windows, all those flint and a bit of infill, whatever it is. And then we come round here and you'll notice that there's the base of the round tower. I've got some better pictures of... There's a salmon. I believe there's a golden salmon on the very top, but I haven't got that to show you. You'll have to wait for the video. It'll be coming out. All those, look at those graves, all covered in ivy. Oh, very mysterious. Imagine going there at night. It'll be very interesting to see. And then down there you've got the River Ouse, oozing away up north with the chalk in the background. And that very lovely looking... that barn, well, you think it's a barn, but actually, turns out it's a boathouse because there's a slipway. So, very old, you know, they must have had some secret smuggling going on in there, I dare say. But anyway, it's very nice, and the video will be coming up very soon. So, I hope you're going to enjoy that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A quick look at a little snippet there. A snippet. I like to tease you. Are you all teased? Are you all excited? Where's he been? Where's he been? Yeah, where has he been? Anyway, so that's that. Let's see what you're saying. You're having a look. Andy Joy. No, we can't. Something to do with hay fever, but it's just vanished off my screen. I beg your pardon. Malcolm Berry says, would you like some more Kevin Hall Vobing Reporter? Yes, we would like to see some of that. We definitely want. Perhaps they're expecting an egghead. I'm not quite sure. Are you all talking amongst yourself? The wings on the mill go round and round, yes, and the clanks in the brain of the Vobes come to a stop. Maggie Walters says, being a Dalek made you turn rather pink. I'm not surprised. I think all the blood went rushing to my head. Anyway, I won't be doing that for a while because I probably burst all the blood vessels in the head, and then that would be end of it. So I was out at Rodmell. Apparently it's not pronounced Rodmell. I believe it's Rodmell, but I may be wrong. But it's a lovely place. Virginia Woolf lived there in a place called Monk House, and in one of my very, very early videos, I managed to film the exterior of it. But I have been in touch, ladies and gentlemen, with the people when I did this leaflet exchange, and they were quite keen for the Bald Explorer to go into Monk House, where Virginia Woolf, wrote some of her books, and go and have a look and do a little promotional thing. So I will be back in touch with them and say, oi, I'd like to come down and have a little gander at that. and dress up, as Virginia Woolf with the little hair and little skimpy dress and reenact the little swim she did. Well, perhaps not that. Perhaps that would be a bit silly. Anyway, so that's on the cards. I'll tell you what else is on the cards. The Queen of Spades. I'm hoping on Friday to go lambing. Well, not actually me to do the lambing, but to go and do some filming of the lambing at Coombs Farm. I had a word with the lovely Jenny, who's the owner of the farm at Coombs, and I want to get in with Coombs because they look like a really interesting farm. They open their doors and let the public come in and have a good nose round. I think they've got cattle and various other things, and they're doing lambing at the moment, of course, because it's lambing season, and all those lovely lamb chops. Don't take your mint sauce with you, for God's sake. So I want to film some of that, and then I want to get in and over the year, what I would like to do is to keep popping back and do a sort of report, life on the farm, perhaps once a month, nip in there, see what they're doing, all the chores, find what goes on behind the scenes. I want to do more of that sort of thing where I could go back and find, update people on what's going on at different places. Same with like a heritage reconstruction, like the Crossing Hands windmill or something, where you go in and you find out what's going on. And then it would be great to do a live show. If I can get in with the Coombs, wouldn't it be great to do a live show with all the cows in the background and the sheep and the bull running towards you at 700 miles an hour because I was wearing red? Wouldn't that be great? And then do some interviews there with, the old farmer there. Oh, that's what we do there. I tell you now, we're going to go down there, the old pig pen, feed them pigs. Oh, them pigs, they're lovely, they are. Oh, yeah, pig that good, you don't eat all at once. Know what I mean? Ha ha! And all that kind of stuff. So that would be really cool, and have some guests and maybe a few animals on the show. And I wonder if I could borrow a lamb. I wonder if I could borrow a little spring lamb. Wouldn't that be nice on the show? So a live show from Coombs. I don't know what the 4G connection is like. Maybe we need to chop down a few trees and get a lovely 5G in there. Just said that for Chrissy, just to upset her, because I know she's a little bit anti the 5G. But if we get some horses, we could have 5 of them, and they're with GGs. All right, that's enough of that. So that's on the cards for Friday, and I'm seeing Richard. I'm seeing Richard on Sunday, which I'm very excited about because he's actually there. Are you still there, Richard? He's still watching The Mad Fool. I'm seeing Richard hopefully on Sunday, and we're going to go round this dry moat from an old manor house in Pulborough and have a little gander and work out what was there. Why was the moat there? What was it was something like 1250, I think he was telling me. There's this moat, and what was it for, and all that. Are you still out there, Richard? I'd be very interested to know. Perhaps this has put you off now, the mad bald bloke in his live show. All the emojis still going past, which is lovely. Thank you very much. Dave Hellier is out there. Hello, Dave. Thanks very much for coming in. It's always nice to see you. All these lovely people. I've got a frozen image here, but enough of my personal problems. But hopefully you can still see me. Anyway, I'm going to press on. Let's talk about the Vobing Reporters. It gives me a moment to sort of recoagulate. I don't know if you're a member of the Bald Explorer group, but I'm so thrilled with the activity that's going on in the Bald Explorer group. People are posting things and people are reporting things. Now, I meant to do this yesterday and I'm pretty certain that I forgot, so I'm going to do them again because I don't think I did them yesterday. So here we go. This is Ed Warren. He was out with his camera up at North Chapel taking photographs. Hopefully that's the last of the snow, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it is all gone after this, which will be rather good. There's a little bit of music there in the background to just melt the snow, which is a good thing. So that was people are posting stuff in the group, lovely pictures, which is fantastic. Thanks, Ed, for doing that. Then Philip Naylor, you have been a good man. You posted some beautiful pictures up there in Nottinghamshire. I should be going up to Nottinghamshire next week. In actual fact, I'm going up there in that area to do some corporate work, sadly, but it's good, get a bit of money, which will keep me afloat for a little bit. So I'm going to do some videoing and stuff, but unfortunately I probably won't get any actual walks done. However, I'm due to go back up to Newark in April, so I hope to link up with Philip Naylor and do some pictures there. So he's got some lovely pictures there. My sister down in Newton Abbot, where they talk like that, see, she's done some snowy ones. It looks nice there, doesn't it? I've been to Newton Abbot, I tell you, and it looks like, doesn't look like that. That look very nice, that does. Thank you, Corinne, for posting all that lot. It's very nice, that is. You go up along, down along, round along the Bimbalong. That's at Newton Abbot, that is. And then Dean Rhodes in Chester. We've got people from all over, ladies and gentlemen. Dean, what lovely pictures you put up there of the Chester Cathedral. Some beautiful pictures. Check them out in the Bald Explorer group and post your own wherever you are. It's great to see some heritage, some landscape, some nature, all that sort of stuff. It's really cool. I love it immensely. So thank you very much for doing all that. I just think we've really cracked something. I don't know quite what it is, but we seem to have a good amount of warmth, love, and what do you call it when people do things together? There's a word, isn't there? There's a engagement. That's it. I'm engaged. Tomorrow, I'm going to be a. I still can't say it. My son is having a baby. My son. Well, he's not having the baby, obviously. It is my son's partner. Patricia is having a baby. My son Stanley. It's a great name, isn't it, Stanley? Fancy calling your first child Stanley. Yeah, my first child was called Stanley. My second child, I wanted to call Ollie. I wanted to have that moment in the playground where I could go, Stan, Ollie, come on. And then have on a little recorder, rum-ba-dum, rum-ba-dum, da-ba-da-dum, ra-ba-da-dum, rum-ba-dum, rum-ba-dum, ya-ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-da, da-da-da-da-ba-dum. Yes, he's mad. Do apologise. Anyway, in the end, my wife at the time, I'm now divorced, but my wife this wasn't the reason of the divorce, but my wife at the time, Dawn, good old Dawn, she said you can't call it was a girl, Georgie, my lovely daughter, Georgie. She would have been what's the opposite? What's the female version of Ollie? Olivia. She would have been Olivia, but I would have still called her Ollie. But actually, Georgie suits Georgie, and she's going to be Georgie. So she is Georgie. So there we are. And hopefully Georgie is going to be joining me in the live show very soon, ladies and gentlemen, when she can get some time off work. And we're going to go and do some walking in the Peak District. And we're going to bring you those videos and all of that very soon. Probably in May. I think that will be in May because the lovely Julia and I are off to Glastonbury first. And we're going to do that one. And then hopefully Georgie and I will be off to the Peak District. And we'll go to Bakewell and have some of their lovely tarts. I like a nice tart, but unfortunately Georgie will not let me have some. So there we go. Now, Vobing Reporters, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed the star Vobing Reporters, yes, that's Maggie and Robbie, have been inspired. Everyone's been inspired by the trees that we've been. Julia and I have been mad on these trees. We went to Kingley Vale, and we looked at the yews there, the ancient yews. We went to Crowhurst in Surrey, and we looked at the lovely ancient yew. And Maggie and Robbie have been out. I won't play all of the video because it's quite long, and it is actually available in the Bald Explorer group. But I'll play some of it just so you get an idea of what goes on, and do go in and check out the rest of the video. But here they are up in Hay-on-Wye, I think it is. So let's have a look at this.
Hello, I am Maggie and this is my husband Robbie. We are in a village called Linton, just outside Ross-on-Wye, and today we are visiting St Mary's Churchyard, where there is apparently an ancient yew tree. And here it is. It was said... Traffic. Just mind the traffic there. It was said to be 4,000 years old, but since it is believed to be 1,500 years old, which is still a good age. I think over 800 years makes it ancient. and it is quite an impressive tree. The girth is over 9 meters. Inside the tree, there is an internal stem. There it is. In 1998, the tree was subject to arson, and because these trees are so amazing, they do regenerate, and it has formed new wood over the damaged wood on the outer of the tree. You can see that the inner of the tree still has the scorch marks.
I'm sorry to cut it off there. I could play the whole thing through, but I encourage you to go and check it all out. It is so good. It's so good. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see these. I appreciate that people, work throughout the week, and I'm the only mad fool that's probably, spending 24/7 on the old Vobie. But Maggie and Robbie, it's so nice. Please bung up some more. You do it so well. And I do encourage people to go and check out in the Bald Explorer group. And as Claire Leach said, we've nearly reached 600. And then she corrected herself, 500. I was hoping to get to 500 members, of the Bald Explorer group by the end of March. So if we can just get those last few members in, that would be really good. That would be very exciting. I'd be so thrilled, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it. That's a great thing. Thank you very much. I just had a quick look in the chat because I often miss all the questions that you throw at me. So if you throw questions, do repeat them a few times, and I'll... Maybe I should do a point where I'm going to say I will answer questions. So maybe at the end, maybe I should do this. Maybe just before I go, the last 10 minutes, I will answer all the questions. So save your questions and then post them all at the end, and I'll try and answer them. So I just had a quick look there. Mark Selwood was asking, why did you get divorced? Why did you get divorced? Mark, why did you get divorced? That's a heavy subject, isn't it? Why? Well, I'm very open, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very open, and I'll tell you what happened. There is I did a pantomime, ladies and gentlemen. I did a pantomime in Doncaster on the back of my children's television series that I had in the 90s, and around I think 1999 it was. And I went up there, and they were lovely ladies. And, of course, we were there for 3 weeks, rummaging around. And, do you know, nothing happened. I didn't do anything, nothing like that. But I realised that, unfortunately, the love that I had for Dawn when we got married and we first got together and we had the children, our relationship had changed. And I try to be as honest as I can. And so in the end, one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do was to sit Dawn down and say, I'm ever so sorry, but I'm no longer in love with you. And it's a very difficult thing, but and it was very hard for the children, and it was hard for all of us. But actually, now looking back, I think we both knew that it had to be done. And we had to then sort of go our separate ways. Dawn now has found the man of her dreams, and I've found Harriet. She found me, actually. That's another story. We'll go into that another day. But anyway, you did ask, and I'm happy to answer those sort of questions. But yes, I could go more into it. You see, the Naked Englishman, for those that don't know who's not patrons, it's very private. It's an exclusive club, if you like, where I talk about the things in my life and in more detail, because I'm aware that anybody could be watching this, and of course when anybody does, you get all the trolls, you get all the weirdos and the nutters. But actually, so far, I don't really get trolls and nutters or anything like that. Oh, just a minute. Oh, hello, Eric. What do you... Yeah, you're a troll. Sorry, I've got Eric, of course. He's a troll. But Not to worry about that. Okay, so let's have a look here. Graham Whittington says, well, I'm anew. You're anew. Good. It's nice to see you anew. Chrissy Richardson says, to all comments, before you write me off as some crank, please take a look at this and do your own research. And then she's put a YouTube. I don't know quite what that's about. So we'll pass on that. But thank you, Chrissy, for making that 100% clear. Feel at home, Kevin. Anyway, so there we are. Maybe you should do a Q&A video. I have done, every now and again I do. The thing is, when you've got no content, when you've really got nothing to say and you're panicking, that's when you go, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do a question and answer session, because you know, and then you rely on all the questions coming in. So that's very good. Ash says that you old dog Vobesy. Yeah, thanks very much. I'm glad, so glad that was it. What? So glad that wasn't an awkward pantomime horse anecdote. Yes. Thanks, Steve. It certainly wasn't that. The other question that Dan Thompson was asking, have I spoken to Lee Brown for a while? No, I haven't. I haven't spoken to Lee Brown for some time. I hope he's all right. He's another chap who does podcasts and live shows. I think he was inspired by the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi back in the long day, but he's been doing it for some time now, and he's got a great big following, and it's all very, very good. Yes, so chocolate. Quick thing about chocolate whilst we're here. I went into Morrison's, ladies and gentlemen, and I was not looking for their homemade chocolate. I was actually looking for some Bourneville. Now, I'm the sort of bloke who, I don't eat a lot of chocolate, but I do like dark chocolate. I like the, dark, proper chocolate because it's not too fattening and it's supposed to be good for you. It makes the follicles on your hair curl in a very interesting fashion. So I bought, they didn't have any Bourneville. Now, I don't want to sort of, give too much branding, but Bourneville do seem to be one of the best that I found. There's lots of other dark chocolate. I haven't really acclimatised to those. Anyway, I tried this. It's half the price. It did make me feel a bit ill. I couldn't eat too much of it, actually. It's exactly the same thing. And I did wonder, do Bourneville make chocolate for other people? I'll have another bit, but not as good as Bourneville. I don't know what the difference is. How you make chocolate differently from the dark stuff. I don't know why I was going to mention that. I think there was more to that story than I... sometimes you think, I'll talk about the chocolate. That'll be good. And actually, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Book recommendation now, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for a book recommendation. And it so happens that we have some book recommendation music. The lovely Julia was on with her Meadowland book that she was telling us about the other week, or a few days ago. It seems like a long time since I've had a guest in here. I need to get another guest. Anyway, this was recommended to me by a very good friend of mine called Mark, who's up in Shropshire. And this is called Wild Wood, A Journey Through Trees by Roger Deakin. And he said he recommended it to me. It's sort of a personal account of somebody. I haven't yet got round to reading. I've got no time to do the reading anymore, but I desperately want to. He says Wild Wood is about the element wood, as it exists in nature, in our souls and in our culture and in our lives. Roger Deakin's unmatched exploration of our relationship with trees is autobiographical, history, traveller's tale, and incisive work on natural history. It will take you into the heart of the woods, where we go to grow, learn and change. So there we go, Wild Wood, A Journey Through the Trees. If you want a bit of reading, be interested if you do get it. Tell me what you think. I do intend to read it. My reading list is huge at the moment, but I'm a bit of a dipper. I sort of dip in one book and then out and dip into another book and go back to the first book, but that's mainly with factual books, but that sounds really good, and I must get down. I must find some time to do that. Be interested to know what books you read. Do you read? That's another question. Are you reading anything? Let's see what you guys are all saying. Anthony Jones says, remember when you climbed them old steps at Nestcliff? You did well to get up them. Thank you, Anthony Jones. I do remember that good old Nestcliff. I want to go back, actually, because and do a walk around Nestcliff, because it's very lovely. The ferns and the trees and the view. I think there's a place called Oliver's Post or Oliver's View or something, supposedly where the Roundheads camped up, and Oliver Cromwell is I think is alleged to have looked out over the west of towards Wales. Not quite sure, for the Cavaliers, I suppose. But yes, I do remember that. Rob Moore says, bit late to the party. What's happening? Well, Rob, if you rewind the tape, you'll find... Hello and welcome to another Bold Explorer Live. Yes, it's Monday the 20th, it's Tuesday the 20th of March, and it's the spring solstice. The spring solstice is when the sun moves around in exactly the same sort of thing. Oh, the Vobing Report. Let's have a look in the thing. There's this lovely picture, and Philip Naylor's been doing it, and they've been doing it, and all the questions are coming in. Why did you get divorced? And we were talking about chocolate, which was and there's a book recommendation. And well, if you've missed it, you just have to watch it again, Rob. I can't do the whole thing all over again. People are going to they'll be signing off. They'll be signing off, ladies and gentlemen. Where's our chocolate? Says Steve Travers. Yes, that's a good point. Very difficult to get the chocolate down through the lens, I'm sorry to say. Pam Earnshaw says, "Oh yes, green and blacks. It's very posh, and it's more money than I earn at the moment." So anyway, I like women. Oh, here we go, Andy Ash. Here we go. Not the old I like women gags. Here we go. Close your ears, women. A little bit of male misogyny coming up. I like women, like my chocolate, dark and rich. I say that because I don't want to get a slap the next time I see my daughter or Julia or Harriet or any of my female viewers and friends. Nikki Jess says, "Hi Richard, I'm late. Have you got a note? Have you got a doctor's note? Have you got a reason? Have you got a bad prescription? Is it a bad hair day? Something like that?" Matthew Holdsworth says, "Maybe you should explore the model town of Bourneville." Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be good. I'd like to go stuff myself full of chocolate and then waddle around at the village of Bourneville. That sounds very good. Claire Leach says, "I'm reading a Peter James novel, You Are Dead." What do you mean? Wait a minute. When you said that, I just suddenly saw bits of newspaper words cut out as if they were stuck on another piece of paper and shoved through my door with no address and no name, just "You Are Dead." What are you saying, Claire Leach? Thank you very much. Is that Peter James, the Brighton writer who writes in the sort of Sussex area and all about Brighton, and he has the word "dead" in the title of every book? Am I thinking of the same person? Rob Moore says, "Off with his head." Off with his head. Handbag. Oh, you get it all here, you know. Willy Wonka managed it. Gary Baines. Can we have a summer barbecue? I keep asking. He just dodges the question. Or I've missed it. Gary Baines, can we have a summer barbecue at your place? Can we, hire the Caponia? Can we have the Caponia? Something like that. Stevie Blakey says, "Reading volumes 1, 2, 3 of LB and SCR again." LB, is that the London and Brighton South Coast Railway by any chance? He says, bringing up that from the depths of his memory for something. I read those books, that 1, 2 and 3. Volume 4, of course, is the best, when one of the tank engines, not the Thomas the Tank Engine set, one of the the Pucker tank engines, Esmeralda, is in a purple dress, chuffing up Sidicum Hill, and she can't quite get up the hill, and Billy, what's his name? Billy Two Cylinders. He's out there to help her, and it's terrible. The things that they lose, the pressure goes, the water is spewing out there, the steam is popping out of their smoke box, and all of a sudden, Farmer Giles is coming over with his pitchforks, just as the German invaders are coming in with their Messerschmitts, going bap, 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 like that. No, wait a minute. That's is that E.T. or Indiana Jones or one of those? I meant to do the battle. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Yes, but so rich, Richard, just 2 squares satisfies. Green and black, this is talking about there. I think I've worked myself into a bit of a mania. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the other thing I wanted to mention, Skype. We were talking about Skype, and I wanted to get somebody this evening on Skype to ring in and see if it works. And I was mucking about. I was mucking about with Martin Snow. When I say mucking about with Martin Snow, I don't mean I was... No, cover your ears. I don't mean I was, mucking about with Martin Snow. I mean, we were testing. Martin Snow, where is that? Martin Snow. Martin? Oh no, that's Eric. Hello, Eric. It's my boffin down there, Eric. No, we were trying it, and then Jeff Mahoney, he called me on Skype, and we were trying to find a way to get it into this software that I use called OBS. Oh, behave. Couldn't do it. And then Skype seems to have changed. Has Microsoft got hold of it? That's probably why it's changed. Because I was logging on my little... I've got a little laptop here. You can't see it, but I've just got a little laptop. I've got a little laptop, not a short crop, but a laptop just over there. And I was trying to log on to an old account, and it kept wanting to do it. It wouldn't do the password. So I changed the password, and, it sends you a thing to say, are you really who you say you are? Because we'll come and duff you up if you're not. And I said, no, I'm really who I say I am. Thanks very much. I've got whiskers under my chin to prove it, thank you. So it said, all right then. So I did all that, and then it said, change your password. You've got to have 8 characters, and you've got to have one of this, a blip from there, and a blop from there, and a wiggly what's it, and then we'll accept it. So I did all of that, all the requirements that you were supposed to do, and then it said, righto, sign in. Signed in, don't know the password. What? Don't know, won't accept the password. Wouldn't accept the password. It wanted me to do it in a browser. On Microsoft, to sign in to Hotmail or something. And I mean, who uses Hotmail anymore? Poof! I mean, that's so last year, so last century, isn't it? Hotmail, MSN Messenger, don't you know? I downloaded, on my phone, where's my phone? It's in the other room. I downloaded what I thought Messenger, and I thought that was MSN Messenger. Turns out it's Facebook Messenger. Put it on. Suddenly the world and his uncle is waving at me. They all go, hello, hello, hello. It's like, what are you doing? I wanted to log on discreetly, but suddenly everybody was like somebody had blown a big trumpet going, bop, 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 bop. The Vobes is here. Hello, hello, oh, hello. Have you got Messenger? Oh, aren't you clever? I thought that's an outrage. I was just trying to sort of log on and see whether it was going to be something to use. But no. So I had to I deleted it immediately. I uninstalled it off my phone. I thought, do not want that nonsense. I hated the moment that Facebook makes you have all these extra things. You can't use the internal Facebook chat because you've got to use their own messenger. It sort of messes with your mind. Messes with your mind. Not your missus on your mind. No, I haven't got the missus on the mind. It's the messengers on the mind. I think I'm having a moment, aren't I? It's another mad show, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing on the time? 48 minutes. Bloody hell, how does that happen? Where does it go? You start laughing at me and I start cracking up and it's all a bit bonkers. I wanted to say a big thank you to Chris Monk, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Monk, who I popped in for a cup of tea, and he said, I got a compressor limiter for you. I said, what do you mean? He didn't do that. That was just me being a chicken. I said, what do you mean? I said, and he said, I've got a compressor, a limiter. He said, I think he said he was in a band or he did music or something like that. And he had this gadget here. He said, I haven't used it for years. I think it's about 400 years old, but, it's like one of them Moogs. It's all ever so technical. It's very nice. It's got knobs and colours and stuff, and it's called the Boss. And look at that. It's got a printed circuit board on there. So if it goes wrong, you know what to, get your old soldering iron out and all that nonsense. And you get the envelope follower, it says here, and overload, and then the comp limiter expander and the gain reproducer. Oh, we all want a bit of that. Turn the effect on and off and the level, and it's all very complicated and technical. the idea of this, you see, the idea is that when I play the music, I don't have to keep fading it down myself. The microphone will automatically fade. It just makes it, like in discos or on the radio when they're going, hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the old here. And the music just ducks down and then pops up. Well, that's what this is supposed to do. So, but then he said two things. One, it's mono, and I said, well, that's all right because my voice tends to be in mono. I tend not to do stuff in stereo. And that's, of course, I'm repeating myself, which I hate to be repeating myself because otherwise I'd be a bit like the BBC, which is full of repeats, as we know, especially at Christmas time. So the other thing he said, oh yeah, sorry, hasn't got a power unit. What? Hasn't got a power unit? No, it needs a 9-volt power unit, but you'll be all right. You'll be able to pick one up from eBay for £5. I said, all right, okay. So anyway, no, thank you very much. I will sort out the power. He said, oh, be careful because the polarities, the negative is on the inside and the positive's on the outside. So, never the twain shall meet. I thought, right, don't make it easy for me because, there's only one little brain cell in there and it rattles most of the day. So anyway, we're going to end the show. I think I've got through all the nonsense that I was aiming to talk. So if you've got any questions, we'll leave them till now and we'll get through them. Gary Bain says, I've messaged you on Messenger. Oh, thanks. Yes, no wonder I haven't seen it, Gary. That's very kind of you. So if you've got Julia Hartley says, Chaz says, yes, Microsoft have got Skype. Oh, right. That explains why that's gone pants. Can you use WhatsApp? Can you use all these other things on a laptop to make that work? Because I want some way to get somebody on the show that I can have a communication on the show, guests from afar, which would be great. Jamie Cave says classic. I don't know, classic, whatever that is. Mark Selwood says, I always use Hotmail. Well, that's because you are probably a hot male. Oh, I got something in my in my spam today. Somebody's obviously signed me up to some adult dating or something because I was getting all these Russian women saying hello, Richard, in Russian, hey comrade. However, I can't do Russian. I was getting all this sort of I'm looking for somebody. I'm a beautiful bouncing this, that, and the other. I thought, oh, I say, But I understand that that's not really a good thing to get involved with, mainly because they seem to be asking for lots of money. I mean, I've sent £500. All the patrons' money I sent off last week on the promise that this voluptuous Russian was going to come and visit me. And I haven't heard from her for a while. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know why that is. I mean, I sent all that money, all the lovely, generous money you've sent in to make the videos. And I was thinking that she could come along in her little skimpy undies that she sent me these pictures, and she said, oh, we're going to have such romantic fun. And I've not heard from her. It's a bit strange. Anyway, hopefully in the week she'll be in touch. So any messages? Mick Bain says, and me too. I'm not sure what that's a me too about, but Jennifer's got a lot of I can't see what that is. It looks like yellow things with things. Christopher Cox has arrived. Hello, Christopher Cox. Haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been? What have you been up to, eh? Been out with all those Russians, I suppose. You be careful with those. Anthony Jones says, you would be the perfect replacement for Ken Bruce on BBC Radio 2. Yes, imagine that. If only I could get a paid job. It would get me off your screens then, wouldn't it? That would be an advantage, I know. So any questions? Have you any questions before I go, ladies and gentlemen? I don't want to hang on and let's have a look. Nikki Jess says, Richard, you are so funny. Oh, I'm funny, all right. There's outside there's a couple of men in white coats with yes, I know what that is. It's he's got that disc thing on his head and a bright light, and there's a tens machine. Well, I can only see one of them, but he assures me it's tens of them. Tens of thousands of volts will be going through like this every now and again. So if you see me do something like that, you'll know that something rather fruitcake is happening. Christopher Cox says, coming back from West Sussex today. Oh, lovely. How very nice. Greg Boyd has joined. Hello, Greg. Very nice to see you. We're just about to go. What time do you call this? I hope that you'll come and see us tomorrow at 8 o'clock GMT. Yes, Granny means toast. And when Granny means toast, she means 8 o'clock in the, we're going to be switching over to British summertime. So I'll be saying 8 o'clock, British summertime, BST. Yes, British BS, big sizzling toenail. Yeah, whatever. Nick Baines to say, they will all be rushing in. Ha. Waving at you, Jennifer Stewart. Hello, Jennifer. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for the wave. Paul Hine, looking forward. We will be searching for a church that was built just 5 days from flat pack. That would be lovely. That'll be an IKEA church. IKEA, ideal for you. Yes, and you get your a paper thin priest who'll be there floating about. Maybe one of those you know, those sort of inflatable things that have a motor and they fly up like this, you know, they've got the wind going like this. You could have one of those, couldn't you? A priest there and a pre-recorded sermon, and they're blowing up like this, going, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the sight of God." Be quite amusing. I'd go to church if it was a bit more funky like that. That would be quite good. Mark Selwood says, I've got the next 4 days off. Oh, lucky you. What are you going to do with your next 4 days? What are you going to be? Are you going to be sweeping and cleaning and tidying? Are you going to look after the missus? Are you married? Have you got a little lady somewhere, or have you got something in the broom cupboard that you bring out at the weekends? You know, I have. It's called a vacuum, but I don't really use it very often. Big shiny turd. Yeah, thanks, Tan Thompson, lowering the tone. Alex Whitlock says, just arrived with toenails. Good, I hope you polished them. Malcolm Berry says, good night, everyone. Have a good evening. See you all tomorrow. I think that's a clue, isn't it? Will Martin Snow be at Bramber? I'm hoping that Martin will. Will you be at Bramber, Martin, and give us a bit of blurb about Bramber? I did ask him. He said, oh, keep me out of this. I said, what do you mean, keep you out? I don't think he wanted to do the walk, you see. I said, we're going to go to Bramber. He said, oh. He perked up after that, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. Martin Snow said this. He said, I will scale the tower. I thought, wow, that's very good. What will you use? A bit of Calgin, because Calgin gets the descaling nice and clean, apparently. Kevin Hall says, have you heard about the barbecue at Shoreham Castle yet? Shoreham Fort. Yes, I believe there's going to be a barbecue in the summer. This is going to be fantastic. We're all invited. Gary Baines has messaged me. So there we go. And Mark Selwood says, no, I'm not going to be hoovering. I'm going to be vobing. Superb. Good man. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, no other questions have come in. Would be a good walk to do on the North Downs and try and do something funny. Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie Cave. Well, I bent your ear with nearly another hour gone. How does he do it? Where does it come from? I had so little material. Thank you for all the emojis. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for coming. I'll be back here again tomorrow. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. It's a bit of a funny day. My son is having a baby. Well, his partner is. And I'm going to be when you see me next, when you see me on the live show next, I would have progressed to the next stage of a man's life where I'm a grand something. Yes, ancient. I will feel ancient. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a joy. When you hear that music, you know that the idiot is going home. Well, he is home. I mean, he's going back into his box. Thank you so much. It's been so fun. If you fancy becoming a patron of the Vobes and supporting the channel and helping us keep things going, then do check out baldexplorer.com. I'll put a link up somewhere. Anything that you can afford. The odd shekel there. Buy me a cup of coffee a month, that would be great. All goes into petrol so I can do the walks and stuff. It helps the shows come along. But otherwise, I'd do it for nothing, wouldn't I, really? Until those two men in the white coats take me away with their tens machines. And their rubber chicken. They've got one. Big. So, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Yes, I can see the grandpa. Oh, I nearly said it there. Stuart Davis, hello from France and goodbye from Angleterre. It's been so nice to see you for these few little moments. Until the next one, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I must find the end caption so I know how to get out of here. Where is the end caption? There it is. The thanks for watching. Until then. There'll be another walk tomorrow. We're looking at, I'm in Binstead tomorrow with the Way marker. And then there's some more videos coming up. So until then, thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care. Look after yourself. And au revoir!